G'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to this FIFA 23 Arsenal Career Mode series. This episode 35. Make sure to drop a like, comment and subscribe if you enjoy. Make sure to check out the previous episodes to see how we got here. And in today's episode we're going to be getting through a pretty big chunk of games, so I guess less highlights but more games. So I hope you guys enjoy. I did start recording this a little bit late on, that's why we're getting straight into the game here. So I forgot to record before I got into the save file and realized just before the start of this game, which was lucky. But yeah, you see we have Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. Not too worried about winning this competition, but it would still be nice because a trophy's a trophy. But my real objective is to win the Champions League this season, I feel like. And you see that Chelsea hit the crossbar early on, so we really escaped one there. And now it's our turn to go on the attack. It's going to be Calvert-Lewin leaping up there and winning the header. Really validating my decision to start him in this fixture instead of Jesus. And he makes me proud as we got 1-0 there. Now it's Calvert-Lewin again. With the strength, runs by his man, finds Casado. Milinkovic-Savic to Trossard. Trossard, a beautiful ball into Calvert-Lewin. He's got all the space and time in the world. And I think that's Kepa in goal, but the goalie made a horrific, error there. I guess that's just what happens on FIFA with goalkeepers. They're either the greatest things known to man or the worst. And Trossard steals the ball in dangerous territory there and gets it to Calvert-Lewin again. And Calvert-Lewin scores. And I believe he scored all three, so that's his hat-trick. What a game for Calvert-Lewin. Really validating my decision to sign him as my new backup striker. But you see there, the game was pretty dead. Only 5 shots to 2, so 7 shots in total. And that's not even the ones that were on target. That's just shots in general. As you see some other results around the grounds there, but it's good to see that we advanced through to the next round, because I was really worried there in the third round drawing a big club like Chelsea. I thought we could be knocked out very early on. They're getting into the Premier League now. You see we have a game against Brighton, who in real life just had a great season. I believe they qualified for European football. I think it might have been the Europa League. If not, then it's the Conference League. But they had a great season, and they've got quite a few good players. I hope they get to keep most of them, but clubs from all around the world are going to be knocking on their door to try to pinch a few of their players. And Jesus has a good chance here early on, but he can't convert. And now we get to the end of the first half as Odegaard takes one from distance. He hits the crossbar there. And then Saka goes for the spectacular, but it doesn't come off, and into halftime we go. And it was more of the same, just nothing really happened. No real big chances, and now it's Brighton's turn here, close to the death of the game. And they're going to find it to their main man, and he scores. I'm not sure who that is, actually. I shouldn't say main man because I don't even know who that was. But he gives them a 1-0 advantage at the Emirates. As we look for a late equaliser here, finds Jesus. Jesus turns and shoots, but it gets blocked, and then Martinelli has a chance, but it's saved by Sanchez. Brighton get all 3 points there. See the stats. We actually had 11 shots to their 4. We won on XG, but XG isn't the be-all and end-all, as you see there, as we go down 1-0. I believe that might have been our first loss of the season in the Premier League anyway. But now we have a Champions League game against a side I know absolutely nothing about. Not going to lie, don't know what this team's name is. Don't know what league they're from. But they've got 5 stars above their logo, so maybe they're a 5-star team, but I highly doubt it. So I expect a definite win here. And Saka's going to take one from distance, and it's that outside of the foot shot again. That seems to be a bit OP in this year's FIFA, I've learnt. But yeah, the keeper definitely could have done a bit better as well there as we take an early lead. And just 8 minutes in now, Jesus gets in behind. You see there they were playing a very high line, and Jesus is pretty fast, and no one's going to catch him, and he makes it 2-0 now in under 10 minutes of game time. A great start. As Jesus, we find him again through the middle, and he scores another, and we just ran away with this one. Already 3-0 up, still the first half. Martinelli dinks it over the top to his fellow Brazilian, and Jesus gets another one, and I think that's his third, so he's got a hat-trick in the first half. As we finally get into the second half now. And the onslaught doesn't stop as we find Milinkovic-Savic to Saka. And this time Saka scores 5-0 now. There's still plenty of time to go. We were just absolutely dominating this one. Even scoring from corners which you don't see too often as our centre back gets in on the action there to make it 6. Now Ben White could probably almost go himself, but he waits for the run. Milinkovic-Savic, is anyone going to come and attack him? No, they just back off, and he's not going to miss from there. And that makes it 7. We're still a bunch of time to play, but we really took our foot off the gas, understandably. As you see, it was 15 shots to 3. The XG wasn't as high as what we scored. We were just really clinical, I guess, and obviously they're not a great team, so they wouldn't have had the best goalie in the goals either. You see there, currently second. Were we second? We're second or first? Second in the Premier League, as it's actually Wolves are 6 from 6, 18 points. Was not expecting to see Wolves top 4, let alone top of the table in general. But we are only 1 game behind them, and hopefully after this game we can be topping the table. But we are playing against Leicester City, who unfortunately in real life just got relegated, which sucks to see. Leicester is one of the teams I quite enjoy. I just enjoy some of their players and the way they play, or used to play, I guess. So it's a bit sad to see them go down to the Championship, but hopefully they'll be back. But it will be tough because they have some decent players as well, like Tielemans and Madison and Vardy, even though he's really old now. You see there, we get off to a good start there through Jesus again. But I think one of the main reasons they went down is they got rid of Kasper Schmeichel, their captain, in goals for some reason. I think they had the 2 worst keepers in the Premier League, and they just couldn't overcome that. So they couldn't afford to lose the possession battle, or the shot battle, I should say, because their keepers were dreadful and weren't keeping many shots out, that's for sure. You see here we've taken a very commanding lead, but Leicester do get one back late in the game, but it was more of a consolation goal. As you see, Ramsdale did have a decent game, but I just didn't want to put too many saves in the highlight film because that's not really what you guys want to see. But we are back to winning ways, as it seems, this episode. Next we have Burnley. Burnley, I believe, coming back up to the Premier League in real life, I think. But you see that we still are second, actually. Wolves managed to get a draw, though, which is better than a win for us, obviously, as they only get the 1 point. So we are making progress already, and hopefully can be top of the table sooner rather than later. Although I guess later would be better, because then we win the title if we get it very, very late. But Burnley have a corner here. We head it clear, but it falls back to the corner taker. Keeps it in, but Gabriel gets it. And you see there, someone's down in the box still for us. And unfortunately, it's going to be Gabriel Martinelli. So we'll check out the injury email once the game ends, but not looking good. Never looks good when they stop the game, because sometimes they can get injured and then play it out. But what a goal that was from Burnley. Outside the box, just beautifully placed. Now Ødegaard finds Jude Bellingham, who finds Trossard, who's come on for the injured Martinelli, but his shot is denied. And Ødegaard again setting up Zubimendi this time, and Zubimendi hits the crossbar. That's a couple times this episode now. We've hit the woodwork. And now Bellingham finds Trossard again. Trossard goes himself again, and he scores this time right on half-time. Ties it up. It wasn't actually a great shot. I watched the replay, and it was just more FIFA goalkeeper things. But now Burnley has a free kick, and they hit the woodwork this time. Not sure if that was the crossbar or the side post, I guess. I think it might have just been both, to be honest. And now Burnley have a late corner here. We head it clear, but Burnley still have a chance. But we get on the counter here, and all of a sudden we have a chance. And Saka has the speed to get by his man, plays the ball out in front to Calvert-Lewin. Is he onside? He is. It's a 1v1 with the keeper, and Calvert-Lewin scores. And we steal the win at the death. The 3 points in stoppage time belongs to Arsenal, and the fans go wild, obviously. At home, at the Emirates. A big, big win here early on in the season. And the fans and players loving it. But there is a bit of sad news, obviously, with the Martinelli injury. So we'll be checking that out in a second. But you see the stats were slightly in our favour, but nothing really lopsided there. So Burnley definitely put up a good fight. As we're going to check the email here before we verse Sevilla in the Champions League. And he's going to be out for up to 2 months with a broken metatarsal. So that is not good. The only silver lining is we do have a couple decent backups who can take over. They're just not as good as Martinelli, through the likes of Trossard and Emil Smith-Rowe, who we still have I am weighing up my options whether to sell him or not because he just doesn't get as much game time as he probably deserves. And in real life, we're not even using him. So it makes me wonder if I should just get rid of him. But we have a big game here against Sevilla now in the group stage. And we work around beautifully. We hit it over the top to Casado, who heads it. The keeper gets a hand to it, and it hits the crossbar and goes out for a corner. I don't know why the woodwork's getting such a beating this episode, but maybe it was a patch or something. We don't know. But Jesus gets it cleared off the line there. I thought he scored, but the Sevilla man heads it off the line, and we still can't score. And now Sevilla have their own corner. They work it round. They play it short. They've got the likes of Delaney and Firmino, quite a few players who I recognise, and they work around beautifully to find the open man. That was just rookie defending there from me. Our players were just backing off, and they look to get a second here, but Ramsdale with a big-time save to keep us in the game. And we've fast-forwarded here right to the very last moments of the game, and we find Milinkovic-Savic has made a late run, and he's got no one really to compete with except the goalie. And the goalie cannot keep him out. Milinkovic-Savic gets a late equaliser here right at the death to get us a point. And that could be a big point later on. As you see there, we definitely didn't deserve anything really out of this game. Lost the stat battle, lost the XG battle. But we come up clutch again. So a couple big last minute goals there. And that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. That really helps me out. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.